You are welcome to our Financial Wisdom from the Bible series, and in today's video we want to still look at the life of Joseph. We started a series last week and we want to continue in that series. And there's a particular skill we mentioned last week that Joseph had, which was able to help him to take advantage of the 3 P's, where money hides, where lifting hides, which is the problem, the people, and the passion. If you are here to watch the video, I will drop the link in the description below. So let's move into it. So what are we looking at today? Is a major skill called observation skill from the NASB version. The Bible says in that Genesis chapter 40 verse 6, it said, when Joseph came to them in the morning and observed them, behold, they were dejected. He observed them. So, for you and I to make changes around our life, so for us to make a quantum leap, we need this skill called observation skill. Because if you don't possess this skill, if you are not observant, changes will be going on around you, advancement will be going on around you and I, and we will not move. We will not change. We will still be doing things the old way, the way they are doing it. I'm not talking about spiritual things now. I'm talking about business. I'm talking about finance. For instance, in the 20th century, the criteria is for you to prosper or for you to be able to meet your minimum required expenses. Go to school, get a good grade, and you get a good job. That was working then. The question is it still working now? It's still working, but much more than that. If you are not observant, looking at the trend of things, you may not be able to change your situation. For instance, let me cite an example. Somebody who has gone to study computer science and just came and said that he studied computer science and is looking for a job. That is no longer working in this day and time. You need to complement it with many other skills, many other certifications. Machine learning, programming, cloud computing, Python, so many like that. But if you are not observant, you will only be carrying certificate about. And we have so many people like that today in today's world. It used to work, just be a graduate and that is all. So we want to see how was Joseph able to use this to his advantage. And the question is, how do we become observant? It can be learned. Observation skill can be learned so that you can begin to notice trends around you and you can take advantage of it. So what is number one? How do you become observant? Number one, you need to start noticing changes and trends around you. Whether your business or your finances, you wonder your business has stayed stagnant for a while. It's as if you are not growing. And even when you think you are growing, it is a linear growth. When you can have exponential growth, those that are having exponential growth, what are they doing? They are noticing changes. They are observing changes and trends that is going on. Some were able to see into the future and they began to develop technologies that could begin to take advantage of the sun. And we can see that those in solar business today, they are selling. But what if you have been stuck in one thing? Those that are making generators are still selling, but you can't compare it to the rate at which the people who are making solar are selling, because solar energy is taking over. But some people were able to notice the changes. They were able to notice the trend. Are you noticing changes? Are you noticing trends in your industry, in your career? If you are not taking notice of these trends and changes, you may remain stagnant. That's number one. Number two is practice active listening. When you are listening, be active. Active. Joseph was active. After he was observant, but he was active to listen to what they had to say. Be active when people are complaining, when people are murmuring. When you see somebody talking and you know that this person knows what he's saying, practice active listening. That's how you notice a shift, a trend. That's number two. Number three, put away distraction. You want to be observant? Put away distractions. Stay in the moment. Don't be going back and forth. Stay in the moment. Put away. There are so many distractions in this day and time. And if you don't shield yourself from them, they will distract you. Don't forget what the Bible says in the book of 2 Timothy chapter 2. If you read from verse 3, talking about the soldier. We are soldiers as Christians, and we are not to be distracted. Put away distraction. Even God is trying to tell you some things. But just because you are distracted, you will not hear. Number 4, pay attention to details. It took Joseph paying attention to details. That was how he was able to notice the changes. Pay attention to details. Details in things, details in people, details in situation. Pay attention to details. Number 5, stay inquisitive, which is you ask questions. Why is this happening? Why is this happening to me at this time? Why is this happening in this economy at this time? Why am I in this country at this time? Why is this person in my life at this time? Why do I have this relationship in my life at this time? Don't just let them be there. Maintain an inquisitive mind. And quickly, let me jump to the benefits of having an observation skill. Number 1, appropriate response to challenges. Appropriate response to challenges. You will be able to give the appropriate response. Not just any response. Appropriate. Because you have given yourself to observe what has happened. You have paid attention to details. So when you are talking or when you are giving a response, it will be appropriate. It will be accurate. Not just from a perspective of assumption, because assumption is the lowest level of knowledge. You are not assuming, but because you have paid attention to details, because you have noticed the trend, you have noticed the changes, you have not been distracted. Then it helps you to give appropriate response to changes. What is number 2? It improves your perception. The way you see things are now different. People around you may not be seeing it, but the way you are seeing it, those who are world changers, they were people who improved their perception. And it is when you are observant, that's when you can improve your perception. This has nothing to do with whether you are a Christian or not. So even if you are even an unbeliever who is observant can improve his perception towards things. His perception, your perception to problem changes, you begin to see it, how can I solve this? Not murmuring, not complaining. For you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Number 3, it helps you to make better decisions. When you are skillful at observing changes, at paying attention to details, sincerely, it will help you to make better decisions. So that's all we have to learn from the life of Joseph. I recommend you watch this next video, which is the lessons we learned from the life of Joseph as well. Where money hides, the 3 P's. Till we meet in our next video, stay blessed.